Let's examine something that's very interesting. Let's examine the idea of why you have the people that are around you in your life, in your individual life right now. One of the ways that we come together in relationships, like the main way, is because we agree on the same things. We have an unspoken rule that says we're not going to break that agreement. So take suffering, for instance. If we all believe that we have to suffer in life, or we have to work really hard in life, we're going to bond with people that have the same agreement in their mind. We're going to tell the same stories, and we're not going to threaten that story in somebody else. And if you do threaten the story in somebody else, they're going to get pissed off. So the idea is that we have these unspoken agreements with people that are traditional stories that keep us completely stuck in life. When we go out and we're going to attract clients to us, and when I say attract, I mean sales, I mean marketing, I do mean vibration, all of it, like the whole thing. We have to be careful that we're not coming from the place of agreement that we were with our past life, which is what most people do. It's a major error, and they don't know that they're doing it. What's actually going on? What's going on is that subconsciously your mind's going, oh, I'm trying to make a relationship. I'm trying to make a friend. So you go back into the emotional strategy of how do I bond with other people, which you've been learning your whole life. Except that strategy has caused you to have the people that are around you around you. Now you have to ask yourself a question. How successful are they? Are they more successful than you? If not, you bond with them for a different reason because you have like and like in common. Relationships, as you know, can go in many different directions, many different things. But the truth is you wouldn't have somebody in any relationship unless you bonded with them in some way. But when you take your foot off that gas and you just relax back into your life, chances are you go back into the mindset of how do I relate to other people, not even knowing. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be cordial. I'm not going to argue. We're not going to have confrontation. I'm going to accept a certain level of bullshit in their life that I've been accepting my whole life, all that kind of stuff. If you're not aware of that when you're marketing, if you're not aware of that when you're making sales, if you're not aware of that when you're making phone calls or you're doing texting or whatever it is you're doing to acquire a client, what part of yourself is up front and center in that search? It's probably the side of you that is the way that you make friends with everybody else in your life. So what happens in that scenario? You attract people into your sales that have the same agreements about why they can't do anything than the other people that you have in your life. Ask yourself if that's not true. For those of you that are having trouble, or maybe you're a little stuck, or it's not 100% yet, where you're constantly getting the right people in. It's like, why? Why would we not? Because what's actually being put forward from us in an energetic perspective is, please like me, right? Please like me. Recognize that I have something that can help you. That doesn't work because you're attracting somebody that is like your, say, friends who have no desire to change whatsoever and will fight to the death to validate their problems and their victimization in life. And God help you if you have a thought outside of that, because they just push back relentlessly. When you wake up to that idea, it's like, oh, okay, now that's something really different that I can do something with. So the idea would be that when you are working in your business, actually you want to do this as much as you possibly can, but you have to know in your normal life, it's going to cause pushback, right? Which may be why you don't push it forward even further, because it does cause pushback, right? Now remember, it can cause pushback from people that are dead, right? Your subconscious doesn't know the difference. If you made an agreement with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, anybody that you had a relationship with in your life and they passed away, your subconscious doesn't know that. So it will still approach those people in the same modality, in the same pattern, with the same strategy in order for them to like you, okay? The first question in sales, what do you want? If you're coming from the place in yourself, what do you really want? You're asking a question that virtually nobody else asks. Only people that are seeking something better in their life ever ask that question. Deep, emotional, heartfelt. What do I want? Everybody else, they don't ask that question. And to the point where they would get offended by the question in many cases, because their belief is you can't have what you want. So why would I even ask the question? It's stupid, right? That's what they think. So you're looking for clients that are looking. You're looking for clients that are looking just like you're looking, right? There's something inside of them that wants to solve the problem, that wants to have more, that wants to do the thing that's outside of the box. And outside of the box could just be paying more for a regular service, paying more for somebody to walk the dog, having somebody to manage your VRBO, right? Having somebody who's your attorney. Paying more is a conscious effort, but it's also an unconscious question. How do I get more in life? So they're willing to do more. They're also willing to be led to that place where they can become conscious about that decision where other people won't be. When you get somebody who's, the first question is, well, how much is this going to cost me? You have to realize you just attracted somebody like other people in your environment. So don't get upset. Be aware. Oh shit, look what I just did. Look what I just attracted. So it comes down to, what do I have to adjust in myself? So that's where the question comes. Where am I doing that in my own life? If I change that, I change me. If I change me, I change what I attract into my life. Businesses grow and get bigger and more wealthy because the people that own them and run them become bigger and more wealthy in their mind. And they start attracting the right people. I rarely come across a business, somebody who started their own business, where the first few years, most of the people that they hired or attracted to them wouldn't give you 2 cents for, because they're coming from a desperation of please help me. And they refuse to believe that they can pay top dollar for somebody because they're not even earning top dollar for themselves. You see the correlation there? If I'm not paying myself first in my business, which should be number one, I should be paying myself first, and I should be paying myself top dollar, then I don't see the value in doing that for somebody else. So now I'm going to go back to this equal agreement. I'm not enough and they're not enough. So I'm going to hire somebody that thinks that they're not enough. Same thing with a client. If I'm willing to spend money on me and my growth and solving problems in fantastic ways and giving myself what I want, I'm going to attract people that at least unconsciously want something similar. So this is a huge question in your mind that you have to seriously think about. Like really, really think, what am I vibrating? What frequency am I putting out every day? Am I putting out the frequency where I want people to like me? I don't want confrontation. I'm going to go back into and agree with people on things that you know that you don't agree with. And it's not like you've got to bash up against them and try to convince them something. It's the fact that you stay in that relationship where the only way you can show up is to agree with their bullshit, with their false narrative of how the world works. Complaining, suffering, constantly sabotaging, I don't have any money, manipulating other people, right? When you do that, when you agree to that just to maintain the relationship, you're not changing. You're not actually really changing. Because what you're saying is, okay, when I'm not working, I'm going to put on the hat and I'm just going to agree with everybody else. But then when I got to go to work, I'm going to take that hat off and I'm going to put on the hat of abundance. It doesn't work that way, because you're constantly attracting to you what you are 24 hours a day. And when you're not attracting a different level of individual, because your mind is at a lower level, don't think that whatever hours you spend working is going to make a difference. It's going to do. It's going to give you the experience of struggling even more, because you go from one way of being to another way of being. And when I do that, it's like I change the dial on the radio. You know, I'm going from music to weather. And when I'm listening to the weather, no music can come in. If I'm listening to music, I'm not getting weather, because no weather can come in. But remember, when you flip your emotional channel, when you flip your frequency, you're also missing everything on the other frequency that you need. You're looking for better opportunities to grow. If you're not constantly in your mind going, show me where these opportunities are, if you're shutting that off, then Whatever you notice when it's off is you're not going to notice what you could have noticed when it was on. When it changes, the opportunity switches. It goes from one place to another. If everything's going great with what you're doing, then don't change anything. But if you were doing great and all of a sudden it starts to dip because of some change in the environment, you got to shift with the change. Where is the business? Because it's here, but you got to put on a different set of glasses to see it. So you have to stay in that expectancy. You know what ruins it? Judgment. That's what ruins it. Because once you start making something wrong, instead of accepting what it is, you won't see the opportunities. And that's what some people do when something changes, right? They want to make it wrong. But that's like the old life. When something else is going on in the world and you're not part of it, stay out of it. It has nothing to do with you. You don't need to know why it has to do with somebody else. It's not your business. So don't make it your business, or you pull yourself into unneeded suffering that's not part of your journey. It's a distraction. It's a distraction. But also, and the reason I'm telling this combined with what I'm teaching today, is that it's a sign. When your compassion, when your pain starts to align, it's looking for other things to align with. You're getting locked into a distraction that's taking you off course. You woke up. Don't feel guilty that you woke up. You woke up. Everybody's here to wake up. So don't feel guilty that you woke up. If you feel guilty, you send a message to everybody else that it's not okay to wake up. Be an example of waking up. Own it, embrace it 100%, and you will attract the people to you that you need, that want to wake up. And look, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Companies are looking for special talent. Don't ever think what you do is outside of the realm of this person that's going to be your client. They're looking for more. They're looking for more talent in you, better outcomes in you, more professionalism in you, the ability for you to help them in fantastic ways, right? Those are the kind of clients you're looking for. But you've got to be that person every day, because you don't have to struggle in sales. You have to become the person you want to sell to. Don't be the person that you're not making sales to, where you've got the same objections, the same habits, the same behaviors. Be the person that you want to sell to, and your sales will explode.